and thank you for joining me today. I wanted to make a quick video just sharing how I created these cards that I've shared on my blog today for the Stampin' Up blog hop. I got the idea from a card I saw on Pinterest, not on Pinterest, I'm lying to you, Instagram. I've tagged the lady, I can't remember her name. I really can't remember her name. I'm not even going to try to remember right now. I'm just going to show you how I created the silhouette snowman using the Snowman season stamp set. Now, as soon as I saw the lady's card, she did a bunny rabbit, I believe it was. As soon as I thought, oh, this could work with the Snowman season stamp set. So I thought I'd give it a go. Don't worry about jotting down measurements. I've listed all the measurements on my blog for the post, which I will link the blog post in the description below. I'm using a standard C6 cardstock, which I've cut to size, which is Misty Moonlight. I've got a Whisper White layer for the inside because I'm trying to be really good and put inners in my cards, because the amount of times I go to get a card and I've not made inners for them. And then my DSP, the DSP I'm using here is the Snowflake Splendor DSP, which is currently on offer. It's got 15% off, and I think it works out £9.14 for a pack. So it's an ideal time if you love this paper or you would just want to stock up on DSP. Now is the ideal time. So this is the paper I'm using, which again I've cut to size, and again all the measurements are on my blog. I cut this one slightly smaller than my original, just to add a little bit more Misty Moonlight around the edge. And then here I've got just an offcut of Whisper White, which you just want to make sure your offcut is just wider than your DSP. So let me show you how I made it. So I'm going to ink the edges of the Misty Moonlight DSP with the Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to concentrate on the three sides, because you're going to lose the base of the, because we're going to put Whisper White paper over the top. And I'm just inking. This just adds a little bit of depth to the edges of the DSP and just darkens that up. And I think it's what makes the image pop. If you see the pictures on my blog, one is darker than the other. I think I got carried away on one. But I quite like the look of it. You could easily leave it as it is. There's no necessary that you need to add this bit. I quite like adding the dark around the edge. Sort of makes it sort of tunnel into the centre of the paper. Now, if you haven't sponged before, I always start off the paper in circular motions and then work on to my DSP and just working them three sides. I'm not even worrying about going all the way to the bottom, because I know my piece of Whisper White is going to come there for my snow. So there, I'm happy with that. Just going to put the lid on my Misty Moonlight ink, because I know what will happen. And I'm just going to wipe my glass sheet, because there's a bit of blue Misty Moonlight ink on there and I don't want to get that on anything. So now I've inked that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my snowman. Now I'm stamping this in Memento ink, because I'm obviously going to colour it in with my alcohol markers. Now when I stamp this, I'm going to stamp it just, I don't know, about a quarter of the way up, and I have him slightly off the centre. You could stamp him centrally, but I just like him off a little bit. So just stamping that there. Nice crisp image. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up just that bottom bit of the stamp. And I'm going to just then stamp that to the white here. So then I've got just where he is on my Whisper White, because then it makes it easier when you come to cut him to go on here and shape it. In fact, I can do it now. So I'm just going to come across the top. So I'm going to kind of cut it, not straight, and then I'm going to cut against that line, leaving a little bit of the black. And then I'm just going to taper it off again. Not worried about that whole piece. And then you can see what I do then, because you've got the pieces of the stamped image, you can line it up really nicely. Hopefully you can see that okay. You can line it up really nicely and then stick that down. But we'll stick that down in a minute. That's ready. To colour in the image, I use my dark basic black Stampin' Blend. And I'm just going to then colour the image in. Coloured in the, I didn't know whether to colour in the snow or not, and in the end I just went for it. I just thought I'd colour the whole lot in. You could always add some rhinestones or some little gems or some sequins on those snowflakes. I didn't add any gems to this, which is unusual for me. Anyone that's been following me knows I like to add, I've added some twine, I've added some white twine, but I normally add some gems. I'm normally sort of a 3-gem, 5-gem girl, and twine. So a couple of my downline laugh at me because of my little 3 gems and twine or ribbon. So that's the image coloured in. So you get a nice dark image. So it's really silhouette, really dark, and you can't even see. One of them I did, I could still see some of the stamped image through, so I went over it again and it completely lost all that. You couldn't see any of the stamped image because you want it to be as dark as possible. Oop, that wasn't very good. So I'm just rubbing over my embossing buddy because I'm going to emboss again the greeting. I'm just going to bring a scrap piece of paper, hopefully where I've just creased that. Once it's stuck down, that will disappear. And I'm going to use the 2 greetings. So I'm hoping this season builds heartwarming hugs and the Merry Christmas. I'm going to stamp the one that goes at the bottom first. So let's just lay this nice and straight and centre that up. Hopefully it's straight because I can't overly see with the camera above. And I'm going to add the embossing powder to this one first, so then I can see exactly where I'm going on the next one. I was going to try and emboss that with that there, but let's clear it away. So let's now add the Merry Christmas. The other one I actually added some snowflakes to as well, which I heat embossed. Again, just lining that up and down. Just going to quickly heat this up with my heat tool. Just give that a double whammy of just checking that I've got no stray powder anywhere. So just get that silver embossing powder. Just clear the deck a little bit. Anyone else getting a pickle like I do with 101 things out? Right, so that's that heat embossed. It does curl up slightly with the heat tool, but that's fine. It will flatten down once you stick it down. Now, when I come to stick my snow on, I added glue to the DSP to about there, and then across the top of the snow there. And then you can just carefully line it up, the stamped bit on one side to the other. And then the easiest way to cut the excess away is actually to turn it over and then just cut that extra away. This here, where the Stampin' Blend has bled through to the reverse, that is perfectly normal. It's probably a little bit more than what it normally would be on a normal cardstock, but because the DSP is slightly thinner, it will show through more. Just to finish off, I did just add a little bit, just a little tiny bit of sponging. I don't think this is my normal. It doesn't even look like a grey. I don't think I've got the right colour sponge, in fact. Bear with me. No, I haven't. That was a crumb cake, which crumb cake is lovely, and I love crumb cake, but it's not what I wanted for this. I just took the harsh edge off that white, just sponged around the edges. Again, little tiny circular motions there. It's very squeaky on my glass cutting mat there. And then I'm going to add the adhesive to the DSP. I personally like the multi-purpose Tombow liquid glue, but if you prefer to use a tape, you can go with the tape. I like the glue just because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. It gives me a little bit of a chance if I'm not quite straight, where I find generally tape, you get one chance and one chance only. Just giving that a little bit of a bend there just to help. It feels where it's the heat tool does curl up the paper slightly. I'm just sort of just trying to tame that down a fraction. And just add some more adhesive just to the back there. And then pop that on the front. There. I love it. And then this one is for my inner. I'm just going for a completely plain inner, but you could always add a little strip of DSP down the edge. You could add another silhouette snowman inside. But I'm going just completely plain. The only thing I need to add is my favourite. Is white baker's twine. Stampin' Up actually don't do white baker's twine anymore. However, I love it. I've got a secret stash of my own. I'm never going to part with it because I love it. And I actually use it in my my work too. I use it to tie safety labels on. It's really handy. So I have a little secret stash. But yeah, I love a bit of baker's twine, and I just like just to me it just feels finished with this little, you don't need to add this on, it doesn't need it, but I like just the finish. The only thing I don't like with baker's twine is it's very curly, and you have to manipulate it somewhat to get it to stay in place. So let's trim that off there, and then I'm just going to pop a wee glue dot, wrong end, a wee glue dot underneath there, and that will then just help that stay in place. Just manipulate it slightly and nip. There we go. So there we go. There is my silhouette snowman Christmas card. Like I said, all the details are on the blog post, and I will link the blog post and all the details in the description below. Thank you so much for coming by today, and I will be back soon, I'm sure, with another video. Bye bye.